Welcome to the Deep Dive. I'm Tyler, your AI guide.
And I'm Tyler, ready to explore the world of Tyler's thoughts.
We've got his journals, and wow, they are packed.
Full of ideas on, well, everything, it seems like.
Success, leadership, even the nature of reality.
Like a blueprint for a meaningful life, you could say.
It's incredible how curious Tyler is.
Always asking these big questions, searching for answers.
Right from the start, he's looking for mentors.
But he ends up finding guidance online from all these leaders and visionaries he finds.
Creating his own mentorship network, basically.
And he quickly realizes something interesting.
What's that?
That asking good questions is more valuable than having the answers.
Yeah, I can see that.
The right question can really open up your perspective.
Lead to deeper understanding, for sure.
He even thinks AI could be trained to ask those insightful questions.
So it's all about critical thinking, not just absorbing information.
Exactly. And then, boom, he jumps into those big questions himself.
Like, what makes someone successful?
Is it all about IQ? Or is there more to it?
Yeah, is it grit, personality? What's the secret sauce?
He digs into research suggesting that hard work and discipline are huge.
So our efforts really do matter, maybe even more than intelligence.
He doesn't dismiss intelligence, but it's not the only factor.
And then he goes even deeper, asking why we don't like ourselves.
That's a tough one.
It is. What's his take?
Well, he thinks it comes from recognizing our own weaknesses.
Our imperfections, our capacity for messing up.
It's like this self-awareness that can lead to self-dislike.
But isn't that a natural part of being human?
He argues it is, this struggle with our flaws.
But he doesn't leave it there, right? There's got to be more.
Oh, absolutely. He says recognizing these flaws is actually key to growth.
So it's not about ignoring them, but confronting them and trying to improve.
Exactly. And then he shifts gears, dives into parenting.
Always interested in hearing different perspectives on that. What's Tyler's view?
He's big on positive reinforcement, especially for kids.
Makes sense, encouraging good behavior, that kind of thing.
He even says that by age 4, you can tell if a kid's had good parenting.
How so?
If other kids want to play with them, it's a sign they're well-adjusted.
Interesting metric. Shows they can build good relationships.
He also talks about resentment, how dangerous it can be.
Especially when it festers, right?
He brings up the Columbine shooters, their twisted worldview.
A stark reminder of what unchecked resentment can lead to.
He's really trying to understand these dark parts of human psychology.
For sure. And then he gets into morality, separating weakness from goodness.
I'm curious about that. What's the distinction there?
Me too. What does he say?
He's pushing back against this idea that success requires ruthlessness.
Like you have to step on others to get ahead?
Right. He believes real strength is about integrity, compassion, doing the right thing.
So a more ethical approach to success, one that values empathy.
Exactly. Then he talks about meaning and purpose being paramount.
Even more so than pleasure or avoiding pain.
He argues, yes, finding meaning is essential for navigating life's challenges.
And finding true fulfillment, right. Not just chasing fleeting happiness.
He goes further, saying responsibility is the source of meaning.
So making the most of ourselves, regardless of our circumstances.
That's what gives our lives purpose, he argues.
Wow, that's powerful. A call to action almost.
He also delves into suffering, seeing it as part of the struggle for survival.
A bit bleak, but also kind of realistic, right?
Life isn't always easy. Challenges are built in.
But he doesn't say we should just wallow in misery.
Not at all. He points out how humans have always adapted, overcome suffering.
Through innovation, collaboration, using our ingenuity.
Precisely. And then he makes a fascinating observation about liberals and conservatives.
That should be interesting. What's his take?
He suggests liberals are more entrepreneurial, creative, while conservatives are great at implementation, getting things done.
Interesting. Generalizations, of course, but still.
Of course, but it highlights the different strengths each perspective brings.
Like a balance is needed, innovation and execution for real progress.
And then he offers advice for dealing with suffering itself.
Okay, what's the strategy?
Stay alert to the beauty in life, even when things are tough.
Finding those moments of joy, even in the midst of hardship.
And face your fears head on. He sees it as a kind of exposure therapy.
So running from fear just makes it stronger. Confronting it helps you grow.
Exactly. And then he goes deep, questioning the nature of reality, how we should live.
Getting philosophical now.
He admits neither science nor religion have all the answers.
We're still searching, still figuring things out.
He explores tribalism, community, these forces shaping human society.
Trying to understand what makes us tick, how we got here.
And he doesn't shy away from the big questions about the future, technology, the need for new economic models.
He's really challenging us to think critically about the world and our place in it.
To be engaged, to keep searching for solutions for a better way forward.
And that's just the beginning. We've got a lot more to unpack from Tyler's journals.
So much wisdom, so many insights. Buckle up, this deep dive is just getting started.
I can't wait to see where it takes us. Let's dive back in.
And he looks at leadership, pulls wisdom from guys like Jordan Peterson, Satya Nadella, Elon Musk.
Oh, now we're talking. What leadership gems did he pick up from them?
He's really into Jordan Peterson's ideas, especially about responsibility, finding meaning.
Peterson's a big thinker, for sure.
He even talks about Peterson's concept of God as like a representation of hierarchy, a force that picks leaders.
Blending philosophy, psychology, even spirituality, all into one.
He does that a lot. Then there's Satya Nadella's book, Hit Refresh.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
About empathy, growth mindset, right?
Yeah, and being customer obsessed.
All important for leaders, but I bet Tyler has his own spin on it.
Oh, definitely. He agrees with empowering people, encouraging innovation, but
Love what?
he pushes back on Nadella's focus on diversity. Thinks productivity should be the top priority for businesses.
Interesting. Not afraid to challenge popular opinions.
That's Tyler. Then there's Elon Musk, his leadership style.
That's a whole other animal.
Tyler admires Musk's directness, cutting through red tape using common sense.
Makes sense. Can lead to more agile organizations, less bureaucracy.
But Tyler wonders if that style works everywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
He admires Musk's boldness, but knows it's not always the right fit.
So adapt those lessons to your own situation.
Exactly. Find what works for you, and remember that lean startup idea.
Build, measure, learn, right?
Tyler applies that to personal growth, too.
So constantly experimenting, adjusting your approach as you go.
Exactly. Key to success, both personally and professionally. And speaking of personal success, Tyler's fascinated by personality.
A big five, all that stuff.
Yeah, he dives into that. Openness, conscientiousness, all those traits.
Uses it for self-reflection, figuring out his own strengths and weaknesses.
Seems like it, and he connects it to leadership, using Simon Sinek's work on how leaders inspire.
So understanding personality helps you lead better.
He thinks so. Even gets into preference falsification.
What's that?
It's like when people hide their true opinions to fit in.
Oh yeah, happens all the time, especially online.
He also explores the impact of physical attractiveness on success.
Bit controversial, but interesting nonetheless.
Shows he's willing to explore all facets of human behavior.
For sure. And he doesn't shy away from those big societal questions either.
The impact of technology, new economic models, the struggle between order and chaos.
Makes you think about the world and our place in it.
And one thing that stood out to me was his analysis of the Jonah story, the one with the storm.
Biblical story. What's the leadership connection there?
He uses it as a metaphor for dealing with toxic people in an organization.
Got to get rid of the bad apples, right?
Sometimes, yeah, for the good of the whole group.
Makes sense. He also talks about action over words, right?
Big time. Simply agreeing with an idea isn't enough.
Got to actually do something, make it happen.
Walk the walk, not just talk the talk. And he offers some really practical advice.
Love that. Give me an example.
He's all about positive reinforcement, whether you're parenting or managing a team.
Encouragement goes a long way.
And exposure therapy for fears. Face them head on, he says.
Easier said than done sometimes.
But he believes it works. You gradually expose yourself to what you're afraid of until it loses its power.
Like systematic desensitization, right?
Exactly. And when it comes to communication, clarity is key.
Avoiding jargon, getting straight to the point.
Crucial for good leadership, teamwork, everything.
And he stresses finding meaning in your work, which is something a lot of people struggle with.
So many feel disconnected, like their work has no purpose.
Yeah, just going through the motions.
He thinks we all want to contribute to something bigger than ourselves, make a difference.
So find work that aligns with your values, makes you feel fulfilled.
Exactly. Find your passion, he says. Pursue work that challenges and rewards you.
That's the dream.
And he dives into morality, too. Challenges this idea that you need to be ruthless to succeed.
Like the ends justify the means.
Right. He thinks you can be successful, endy, ethical, treat people with respect.
A more humane approach to business, basically.
Exactly. And he's big on critical thinking, questioning assumptions.
So important these days with information overload everywhere.
Gotta filter, think for yourself.
Yeah.
He wants us to be curious, keep learning, never stop.
Always growing, expanding your understanding.
And he explores those personality frameworks again, the big five, the character strengths model.
Helping us understand ourselves and others better.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fascinated by how these tools can decode human behavior, improve relationships.
Pretty powerful stuff.
He even talks about physical attractiveness again, its impact on life, which can be a touchy subject.
But he's not afraid to go there.
And he brings up this regret minimization framework for making decisions.
Okay, what's that about?
Basically, choose the path you'll regret less in the future.
Forces you to think long-term, consider the consequences.
He also shares Jeff Bezos's philosophy, putting customers first, even above employees and shareholders.
Amazon's built on that, but it's also controversial.
It is. But Tyler's point is, happy customers are essential for business success.
Then there's Simon Sinek's advice. Learn to speak last.
Be a good listener. Understand other perspectives before sharing your own.
Valuable for leaders. For anyone, really.
And he revisits preference falsification, the idea of hiding your true opinions to fit in.
We talked about that earlier. Conformity, peer pressure.
He wants us to create environments where people feel safe being themselves, no judgment.
Psychological safety, right, that's what they call it.
And he gets philosophical again, talking about order and chaos, how truth can overcome chaos.
Sounds deep.
It is. Like, through knowledge and understanding, we can bring order to our lives.
And he offers some practical hiring advice, too. Look for intelligence, integrity, trustworthiness.
Those are the must-haves, hard to teach those.
Build your team on that foundation.
And he emphasizes understanding cause and effect, seeing evolution as this driving force behind everything.
Taking a scientific view of the world, figuring out how things work.
He also talks about the challenges of modern life, addictive technology, the decline of traditional news.
Yeah, lots to grapple with in the 21st century.
And he points out how we tend to take the easy path, the path of least resistance.
It's human nature, right? But we should challenge ourselves, strive for growth.
Exactly. Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
And he critiques capitalism, calls for new economic models that are more cooperative, sustainable.
Thinking about the long term, not just short-term profits.
Yeah, gotta find a balance.
He also emphasizes balancing logic and emotion in decision-making, creating a culture of idea meritocracy.
So the best ideas win no matter who they come from.
And he has this fun idea of creating baseball cards for employees, showcasing their skills.
Well, I like that. Makes everyone's talents visible.
And he talks about finding meaning in work again, seeing it as an opportunity to grow, contribute.
Instead of just a paycheck.
Right. And he gets into the complex relationship between self-hatred and motivation.
Can be a double-edged sword, right?
It can. You need to find healthy ways to push yourself without being too self-critical.
For sure. And he talks about different levels of human organization, from individuals to groups to tribes to nations, even the whole world.
Like we're all connected, part of a larger system.
And he challenges businesses to think long-term, prioritize sustainable growth over quick profits.
Thinking about the future, the planet.
And he warns against emotional, tribalistic thinking, especially when we're bombarded with unreliable news. Yeah, media literacy is crucial these days.
Got to be critical thinkers. And he talks about new forms of economics, again, balancing competition with cooperation.
Finding that sweet spot.
And he stresses clear communication, having principles for handling conflict respectfully.
Essential for healthy relationships, both at work and in life.
And he talks about addressing root causes, not just symptoms, when solving problems.
Systems thinking, right? Seeing the bigger picture.
He offers leadership advice, too. Set clear expectations, give feedback, empower people.
Sounds like good management 101.
But it's often overlooked. And celebrate success, recognize contributions.
Boost morale, make people feel appreciated.
Embrace failure as a learning opportunity, he says. Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah, you learn more from your failures than your successes sometimes.
And find balance between work and life. Pursue things you enjoy outside of work.
Taking care of yourself, having hobbies, all that good stuff.
He encourages people to seek out mentors. Learn from those who've already achieved success.
Get guidance. Accelerate your growth.
Network. Build relationships with like-minded people.
Expand your circle. Open up opportunities.
Be curious. Ask questions. Never stop learning.
Lifelong learning. That's the key.
Give back to the community. Use your talents to make a difference.
Paying it forward. Leaving the world a better place.
Be kind, compassionate, empathetic in all your interactions.
Treating others with respect. Spreading positivity.
Stay true to your values, even when it's tough.
Living with integrity, standing up for what you believe in.
And be courageous. Pursue your dreams. Never give up.
Inspirational stuff. He's really packing a lot in.
He is. It's like a fire hose of wisdom, all these ideas coming at you fast.
But it's good stuff. Makes you think.
Exactly. And that's just part two. We've still got more to explore in Tyler's journals.
Can't wait to see what other nuggets of wisdom he's got tucked away in there.
Let's dive back in and find out.
It's really impressive how he blends practical advice with deep philosophical thoughts.
He's making us rethink success. It's not just about external achievements, but also inner peace.
Right, like finding that balance.
And he dives into those paradoxes, the self-hatred as motivation thing, tribalism, order versus chaos.
Life's messy, no easy answers.
Exactly, but he still finds hope, you know?
Yeah, I see that.
He believes in our ability to grow, to connect, to build a better future.
Even with all our flaws, he sees the potential for good in us.
He does, and he encourages us to embrace that potential, to strive for more, to live with purpose.
To make a difference, basically.
Yeah, to leave our mark. It's a powerful message, challenging us to think differently, to act with courage, to truly live.
Wow, what a journey through Tyler's mind.
A whirlwind of insights, like a crash course in, well, everything.
Personal development, leadership, philosophy, even psychology.
We just scratched the surface of his journals, but it's clear he's a deep thinker.
He's given us a lot to chew on, a lot to apply to our own lives.
So what resonated with you most? What will you take away from all this?
Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your insights.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep striving for that meaningful life.